the real challenge here for you? So you can imagine how this might go. You get in with somebody and you go, okay, so tell me what's on your mind. And they'll either have something or maybe they won't, in which case you can say, well, look, three things you could look at. You could look at projects, people, or patterns, knowing that, what's on your mind. And they'll go, oh, okay, right, well, it's blah, 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 blah. And they start talking about the thing that's on their mind. And here's what will happen. Because you're a good person, because you've had years of practice doing this, you're going to attempt to come in and leap it to a solution right away. You're going to jump to going, let me help you fix this. And I'm going to say that's not the right thing to do. Because the opening statement is rarely the real challenge. So, one of the things you do is you ask what's on your mind. You say, okay, so let me ask you, if that's the thing that's on your mind, what's the real challenge here for you? And what I want you to take away from this, and it's a key learning point, is that this question is really carefully crafted. Because look what happens if you don't say it exactly the way you see it on the screen right now. If I was just to ask you, what's the challenge? You can see how it lands in a different way, doesn't it? And in fact, people are likely to talk in a more abstract, general way, a less personal way, a more kind of almost executive summary way. So it really has less power if you just say, so what's the challenge? And even if you ask, what's the real challenge here? It gets more focused, doesn't it? The real challenge gives it more weight, more focus, but it still can lend itself to a bit of a, let me tell you what I think the problem is for the team or for the organization or for you, the manager. But then when you ask the full question, what's the real challenge here for you? You can feel how that lands with a real tightness and direction and a sense of a move from coaching for development to, coaching for performance to a coaching for development. Here's a metaphor that we use in our programs. If you're asking what's the real challenge or what's the challenge here, really you're looking at the fire. You can see that on your screen there. If you add for you at the end of it, what's the real challenge here for you, you move back to looking at the person. And that's going to be a more powerful conversation most of the time. And again, it comes back to this piece around coaching for performance is at the top. Yeah, important is a role to play there for sure, but that's where most business conversations happen. Coaching for development not only tackles the task that needs to be done,